I will talk about it, Cage. I will talk about it. Thanks for your permission. So without further ado, I will talk about some of the topics that are relevant to me and I Feel Luca Nation on today's
now I
Monday
take my
episode.
permission away. I take my permission away.
Shun,
Take
re-shun.
it away. Shun.
Lucas, Tigers, and Bronze Oh My. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you guys back to a really fun, really special episode on Monday. You guys know I love Mondays. I have this weird thing. Every Monday, I have a ton of energies and a ton of topics to talk about with you guys. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like today's episode. I'm going to make sure my audio works just fine. It does. It sounds amazing. First thing I want to kick off with, and it's funny, like I'm young, I'm 31, but what I'm realizing is because, I've had a little experience on Wall Street and in the financial sector, the traditional financial sector. After that, I went and I joined a cryptocurrency company. I grew up trading and playing with cards. Here I am back at it. And why do I bring that up? And why do I think that that's relevant today as Cage gazes into the sky, waiting, where is this going and when will this kid finish? I think it gives me a 360 view, maybe a bit of an objective perspective on today's market. And I want to say something to you guys here. Be on the lookout for smoke and mirrors. Be on the lookout for smoke and mirrors. What do I mean by that?
It means David Copperfield is coming to town to do a magic show in your town with the smoke and the mirrors. No? Not that?
Ethereum, Bitcoin,
oh God.
cryptocurrencies,
Here we go.
NFTs, Dogecoin, Luca Prism PSA 10, the egg card, the cryptocurrency card. We're seeing all of these assets being deemed the next best thing, and they're going to the moon. And maybe it's true. Maybe Ethereum's going to become a $10,000 coin one day. Maybe Dogecoin becomes $1. And I'm sure a lot of you guys out there listening probably have already done this calculation where you're calculating the amount of shares you own and what happens if Dogecoin goes to $1. My point is, as much as we're seeing this huge run up in a variety of assets, I would urge you guys to be a little bit cautious and a bit skeptical. There's that great quote that says, when your Uber driver starts talking about buying Uber stock, or when your barber talks about buying Uber stock, it might be the time to get out. I'm not saying that that's necessarily true right now. I'm saying that be wary of it, be skeptical, be curious. Why is there so much pumping and manipulation going in the market today? So I'll pause there. I want to see, I know it's a different way to kick things off, Cage, but you and I spoke about this. You saw how passionate I was about this topic.
Yes. So that's why you were able to take the first 4 minutes of the episode and talk about it, because it's important for people. And, it's like, listen, you can say it's something new. It's not. I mean, I've said it a million times. I kind of try to live by it. Warren Buffett, that one quote that I say he got nailed it right on the head, which is, be fearful when others are being greedy and be greedy when others are being fearful. And right now, there's a lot of greed, which, is fun when it's Wall Street, Gordon Gekko, greed is good. But things just don't go straight up. And a lot of times when they are doing that, it's because there are, would you call it evil forces at play? Or you're just telling people to be careful of what's behind some of these products?
So that's a great point. I don't think it's evil. I think people just look out for themselves, their family, and their friends.
All right. Listen, I also am excited about this episode. Do you want to put a bow on the Bitcoin stuff, or you want to keep talking about it? You want to talk about? Listen, guys, he is very.
You guys have been with us for 300 episodes.
Well, that's
it's
what I was
so funny.
Say, Leonidas.
The topics that I love, Cage is like, hush. Are you done?
Well, dude, because I mean, I get it, but how about this? You got another minute or two, at the hot gates before Xerxes shows up with his army of immortals. And you can speak now. You can give your speech. You can give your speech, King Leonidas.
But I'm not a speech guy.
But you need to.
I'm a discourse guy.
But tell me what people should be taking from this. What do you expect to happen, or do you not know what's going to happen? You just want to preach patience and caution to our folks who are investing in the next big thing.
I would preach caution. I wouldn't actually preach patience. I will say when you're in the market, and that means when you're invested in an asset. And by the way, cash is an asset. Okay? Cash is a position. Sometimes we think cash is not a position. Cash is a position. So when you're in the market, regardless of how sunny and how, what is it called, rosy-eyed you are, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, Luca Prisms, NFTs, they can go down 50% overnight. It's possible. I know you might not want that to happen, but it can, and at least have that downside potential priced into your investments. I think when things go up, people forget that there's any downside associated with it.
Look, we haven't talked about Top Shot. You could have lumped that right in there with your Bitcoins and your Dogecoins and all that other stuff. My Top Shot portfolio is down tremendously. It's down huge. So it is what it is. From the high, it's down high. I mean, things run up and then they go down. It's just, it's just another one of those assets. But since you've done that, I need you, because you missed all of the Leonidas references, you missed all that stuff. I need you to say, for this, our 300th episode,
I knew you were going to say that.
I need your best. This is Sparta.
Are you not entertained?
No, that is not 300, dude. That is Gladiator.
Are you not entertained?
I'm always entertained by your stupidity when it comes to movies. But this is Sparta, King Leonidas. Come on, not Russell.
And then when he kicks him over the edge.
Yeah, Gerard Butler. This is Sparta. Come on, I want to hear yours. Let's go.
That movie single-handedly made me want to take HGH.
Okay, you saved it there. So it's good, and it's a great segue. I'm going to do this at the end, but don't let me forget. It's 1 week into the cage getting healthy. 1 week into the what do you call it? The Luca Nation fatties. What are you calling me? What do you call me here? Oh man, we got a couple.
I like how you worded that, by the way. Getting healthy instead of losing weight. Yeah, I like that.
Well,
that's a really good start.
Cage getting healthy, and by the way, guys, a little behind the scenes. Andrew has said this week I've been particularly irritable and not as fun. And it obviously is not a coincidence that I'm also eating healthy. He likes me better fat and on Chick-fil-A. So it's like, hey, it's like
I didn't think it would happen like that. I didn't think it would. But I actually said he's not as funny.
Yeah. Well, this is true. I don't feel as funny. I feel as hungry.
I have a cool topic to discuss if you want to.
Let's go. As long as it is not a form of cryptocurrency, then you can go wherever you want with it.
And that wasn't just about crypto. That was more about, just be wary. Don't be like, you'll never go broke taking a profit. I know there's so much of that influence. Okay. I'm not going to go.
Are you trying to say that 5.5 is a hoax? Are you trying to say that 5.5?
I'm not going to go there. We can save it for later. But one of our best performing posts, one of the most polarizing, frankly, on both sides, was the Michael Porter Jr. post from last week.
True.
Some people, that was hilarious. Guys, just go back and read the comments. My favorite was, "This guy's a certified retard."
Hey,
I just thought that was funny.
That's no good. Good.
I thought it was funny. But anyway, I wanted to ask you. You have Michael Porter Jr., the Silver Prism PSA 10, sitting at around $1,000. Okay.
Yes.
You have an SGA Silver Prism PSA 10 sitting at $1,000. Mm-hmm. Who are you investing in long term? Walk me through how you're thinking about which one of those you're investing. Here's $1,000.
5 Miles Bridges, silvers instead.
Andrew is not building bridges today. Andrew's not building bridges today.
I was going to try to give you credit for that. I've watched a whole lot of Hornets games this week. That dude, he's got some upside. He's exciting to watch, man. He just changes the game. He really is. And with LaMelo out there, he looks even better.
LaMelo's a great addition. And LaMelo's vision, court vision, finding ways to make his players around him better is huge. It's going to be great for Miles Bridges long term. I agree.
I'm not buying either of the guys you're mentioning, right? But if you have a gun to your head, which one am I buying now? I guess I'm going to go Michael Porter Jr. I am. I've watched his games this year, and obviously I've been paid more attention now that I've been called a lot of names that I don't watch his games. He comes out like a house on fire, man. He really does. Like he starts the games off like his coach is going to pull him after 5 minutes. He always wants to score. I mean, it's almost like, if I were his coach, I wouldn't mind him as a 6-man if I had 5 guys better than him, because it's like instant offense. He comes out and it's like, wow, does he really have 10 points already? He's leading the team again. He's got 10 points. It's quick. It's middle of second quarter, and he's on his way already to another great game. He definitely can score, and he scores efficiently. He really does. I still want to wait to see what happens when that team is healthy, but he's young. It's so funny. I've seen all these stats that are positive on him about how he's done this. It's only a few people have done it after their second year. And I want to write on everyone. It's not his second year, it's his third year. And I know it's really his second year, and I know blah, blah, blah. But, remember, his rookie is 2018. But he's still younger than so many people. I was a Devontae fan. That's why I always make the comparison because, I'm a huge fan of his. And he's significantly older. Devontae is significantly older than Porter. SGA, man, the only time you'll find me buying his cards is if he's not there. That team, they have a lot of great things going for them. A lot of salary cap room, a lot of picks, a lot of young guys, a lot of young core. I just don't see it happening for them. I just don't until I see it. You know what I mean? And they're in the West, right? So there are so many other teams that are also young, that have young stars, that Oklahoma team would have to pass to get SGA relevant. And Porter Jr. is already on a team that's at the top. So it's price being the same. I'll take Porter Jr. And that's not me flip-flopping on my take because I'm not a huge SGA guy. And Andrew, you were the one who told I had a bunch of SGA cards, and you called it dead money, and I could not say it better. SGA cards just became dead money.
Fun little stat. I can't remember exactly the stat, but the context of it is SGA has the most points unassisted in the NBA. Just a fun little fact. Okay. I gave that Michael Porter – and guys, just so you know, Cage was talking about Michael Porter Jr., the investment, more than he was talking about Michael Porter Jr., the player, right? Because Michael Porter Jr., the card investment. Sometimes we blur the lines. I was truthfully talking about MPJ as the player. I think he has a ton of potential. But his cards already kind of priced that in. And you could even see that. We got 110 comments on this post. We got 120 likes and 110 comments on a post.
But not a lot of them were people who listened to the whole episode. There are people who listen to the video clip and don't realize I'm coming at it from I wouldn't buy his cards now because they're already so high. You know what I mean? I think that's the point you're trying to make.
Exactly. And guys, think about it. Think about how many supporters already of Michael Porter Jr. came out and said that in the comments. They all own cards. So they've already bid his price up. So it's not like you're getting him at a discount before the bubble last year. My comp, actually, I know I compared him to Kevin Durant, and I stick by that comp. Tracy McGrady is also a very interesting comparison for him.
Quick offense.
Quick offense. The guy can get a bucket.
I don't think Porter's as springy. I don't see him, the flashy dunks. McGrady was a little more on that. Maybe that was because, with Vince Carter, so he felt like he had to do it. But
for sure.
Yeah,
and it was a little bit of a down decade for NBA athleticism too. I don't know if you remember, there wasn't that many good dunkers back then, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
What about this? Tyler Hero Prism Silver PSA 10, or any of the two guys I mentioned?
Are you telling me Hero's the same price as those other two right now? $1,000?
$1,000 for Prism Silver PSA 10.
Yeah, I put Hero a distant third to those two guys. It would take a lot. It would take a monumental thing to get Hero back to where he was. He is the perfect example of a momentum player, in a momentum card that had all the momentum on it. It would be very difficult for him to have the stuff behind him that he had previously. Everything cut right? He was the rookie that made it to the finals, you name it. So talk to me about Tyler Hero. Sorry, man.
No. I'm curious to hear your take. It's funny. With Tyler Hero, I was so wrong. I was so right. I was also a little bit wrong because I didn't expect his cards to take this long to get graded. So, I was really right about his graded cards because you were able to get out of them when he was at the hype. But, guys, I'm telling you right now, I still have, from August, when I gave that play, Prism Base and Mosaic Silver. I subbed them August 20 day. They're still in grading. So, I've been through all the Hero cycles. I've noticed Tyler Hero is a lot more – he's listening to the noise a little bit. This year he had a great bubble performance. This year he was inserted into starting lineups, starting point guard, clearly underperformed. Injuries, sure, whatever. And now he's kind of answering all these social media critics. And today he tweeted something like, "It's not my fault if I don't meet your likeness." I'm like, bro, stop worrying about what everyone's criticizing you for. Just play well. And I think his game's really, really fallen off. Really fallen off.
Well, what do I think about him?
No, incorrect. I apologize, Cage. The Prism Silver Tyler Hero is back at 450, where it should be.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense. So at distant third. But I got to tell you, on Hero, I mean, that was just like everything coming together on him. But I'm not going to fault him for answering. I mean, he's a professional athlete, so he shouldn't. But paying attention to the heat that he's taking on social media, I mean, look, we just spent 5 minutes talking about the comments we got on my Michael Porter Jr. take. So, we're guilty of the same thing, right? I mean, but people...
We're not guilty of the same thing.
You pay attention to what people are saying about you. That's just kind of the deal, right? But he's a pro athlete, man. He's got to get above that. He's got to go out there and he's got to do his thing and he's got to let his game speak for itself.
No,
I've told you this. Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, please.
I listened to the comments of like, hey guys, your audio quality is really poor and I have to leave you guys a review about this. So I'm like, this guy's right. This is legit criticism. So I'll improve this now before every episode. I want to make sure that my audio is good so that our Luca Nation community, who gives us their generous time, I mean, people are busy and they're willing to listen to us, that they get a valuable product. So Tyler Hero, if he's listening to the comments, what you should be thinking is, I'm a paid athlete to perform. And my job is to perform at a really high level day in and day out. People pay money to see that. And my level's gone down a little bit this year. And I'm going to work really hard to bring my level back up.
Okay. I get it. It's a little easier to fix your headphones than fix your game, but I understand what you're saying. Listen, Hero...
That's a good quote.
He is who he is. You still haven't given me my "This is Sparta" quote for our 300th episode here.
This
300, man.
Is Sparta.
Nice. There we go. All right, I'll take it. Not the best, not the worst. It's good stuff. Good stuff. What else can we do for 300 besides the 300 Leonidas? You have a play today? You have a play here for our 300th episode?
I'm going to give you guys a goat that's going to be enshrined in the Hall of Fame that you're able to get for maybe 65% of the price that he was at just a little bit ago. He's the Kawhi before there was a Kawhi. Who am I talking about?
Robert Horry? I don't know. The Kawhi before there was a Kawhi. Let's see.
Tim Duncan.
Really? You would think Kawhi is Duncan?
Just in the comparison, they neither of them talk to the media. Yeah. They're very reserved. They're not going to have any negative press, but they're also not going to have any showmanship or any way to build a large fan base, right?
Are Duncan's cards down?
Yeah, his Topps paper is at $600-700. And that was about $1,100-1,200 just a few months ago.
Wow. And isn't he going into the Hall of Fame?
He is, and I think that's great. I think oftentimes when there's things like that and the Kobe documentary, it's already priced in. When something's already known, this market's so good that it already prices it in. But I think when you are able to get a pop, I think it's like a pop $600 card in a great brand with the Topps brand, in a PSA 10 of someone who, we look at Bill Russell, right, for example. Mm-hmm. And we're like, this guy's the greatest. This guy's amazing. He's vintage. He's art. But Tim Duncan's going to be the Bill Russell in 20 years, too. There is that Bill kind Russell, of like...
who still is alive, Gavin.
Yes, Bill Russell, who still is alive. My point is, Bill Russell's like this old man to us now. But the guys that, Tim Duncan will eventually become that old man, and his cards will really be vintage. And you're able to get one of his vintage cards... That's a really tough grade, by the way. It's a much tougher grade than the Topps Chrome. In a PSA 10 of someone who's a really accomplished athlete for $500, $600, $700, I think it's a good stock to buy. I think that's like buying an Apple stock.
I like it.
I like it. And it's a Mariano Rivera. It's a Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's not going to do anything to take that value down. That's one of those. It's probably not going to double in the next month. Because he's not out there playing, he's not out there doing anything. But yeah, certainly you're not going to get hurt buying an asset like that. 100%.
The thing with these assets is you actually don't know when they double, right? Like some assets that you buy before the season and you're like, oh, I know Joe Burrow, you're going to see an appreciation before season starts. Those are cyclical. You don't know when a GOAT like Tim Duncan's going to go up, but you do know he has a lot of earnings potential. He has a lot of upside. So you just have to be in the market. You got to have one of his assets. That's how I see it.
I like it. Listen, I got a bunch of plays. The Bill Russell was one of them too. But I'm going to start off by saying this, right? So, number one, I don't know if you guys are listening. We got a whole bunch of other fun content on the Luca Nation Network. Give us a follow on that network page if you haven't already. If you listen to this, go ahead and give us a follow there. You get a taste of some of our other shows, some of our other content that's out there. Andrew's doing a show called Scouts. I got a weekly YouTube show. You can follow us on YouTube as well, Luca Nation Network. Where it's called The Come Up with Cage, where we are, we're trying to bring out some new talent, some undiscovered diamonds in the rough. Second episode of that will drop on Wednesday. Go ahead and give a follow because we try to put, specific content in those things. And one of the things I'm also doing on my own personal page, hopefully you guys follow me there too. If you don't, I would appreciate that on Luca Nation Cage Lawyer. So I do a little episode of Cardboard Relevant. My guys who are Cardboard Relevant. Sometimes I'll throw a play in there. And if I do it during the day, as I did today, that play, it may or may not be the play I give today. I'll tell you what it is. But you can only get it by tuning in on those Cardboard Relevant with Cage, those episodes there. So today I talked about, I don't know if you remember, a recent episode, I talked about how great Mike Trout was playing and how you can grab whatever Mike Trout card you want, right? Whether it's his update, you name it. He's going to win the MVP, you name it. As I was doing research on Mike Trout, I found another guy in the American League who might actually be playing better. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep it up the whole time. But take a look, my Cardboard Relevant play. It's a Byron Buxton of the Minnesota Twins and his rookie from 2015 Topps Chrome.
He's fast.
He's very fast. He's very fast. And he plays a real good defense. He fixed his swing. He's holding his hands differently. He's making great contact, great exit velocity. We go into it in the Cardboard Relevant today. And it's a shot for you to buy somebody who's not really Cardboard Relevant yet, but if he keeps hitting the way he is for a couple more weeks, he most definitely will be, and you will have gotten it ahead of the curve. So just a couple, fun things that we're doing out there, in the Luca Nation Network, trying to provide value not just through the podcast but through some other stuff. So we would appreciate if you, if you check us out on all the arms of the network. Another play, because Gavin brought it to my attention. Go ahead, you got it. You want to interrupt? I
was going to say, you want to have some fun.
Have some fun, sure.
I was gonna riff with you a little. I was gonna throw out baseball player, because I talk a lot of NBA. I don't know baseball. I was gonna go throw out a few names, and you tell me what you think of them from the player perspective and an investment perspective.
Sure, go ahead.
Guys that are having good years that also have had some success in this. Okay, so you want to do this?
Sure, dude.
Cool.
Anything new is fun for
Nick Castellanos. Nick Castellanos, overrated, underrated, properly rated.
Properly rated now, just because he had such a great year last year. Who was it in our OG group? Is it DJ? Who was it? Who was the Casty bomb? Mm-hmm. I would give the updates on the updates from the Hive with my Hornets guys, and then every time Castellanos. I think he only has 2 home runs this year. Nick, great hitter. Should be in the MVP discussion. Last year kind of was. He doesn't have the power numbers this year, but
9 home runs, Cage. 9.
Castellanos, 9? Did he hit 2 in one game? Is that what it was? Did he had two? He had 2 yesterday. Really nice. I mean, that guy. His prices are where they're supposed to be because he had such a great year last year. He's not sneaking up on anybody, so he's awesome. But I wouldn't be buying his cards now just because he'd be a little late on his prices.
This is a guy that was a prospect as highly touted as we've ever seen. Won a World Series and then kind of fell off. And he's an All-American guy. You want to take a guess? He's from the Windy City.
So a Chicago guy who won a World Series and fell off. So Chris Bryant?
Yep. What do you think of him? Overrated, underrated, etc.
Who he reminds me a lot of? He reminds me a lot of Tyler Hero. He reminds me of somebody who just everything broke right. Everything broke right in the beginning for him. Everything broke right, and his cards just really flew. And I don't think they ever get back the kind of momentum that they had when he was in that whirlwind, championship year kind of stuff. So it'd be very difficult. Especially the National League now, where you have to compete with those Dodgers and those Padres, some up and coming teams in the next couple of years, like, the Giants with payroll and whatnot. So it would be tough for me to put money in Chris Bryant.
There's so many good cageisms that I'm learning over this time. And one of my favorite is like your Suez Canal metaphor. When a card when a card goes up or a player gets so much hype and then he doesn't live up to that hype and he comes back down, it takes a momentous amount of effort, almost 2, 3, 15x almost, it feels like, to even get them to approach those highs before that they were at before.
Yeah, and people also don't like getting burned. People are buying those cards at a lot of money. Same thing. Listen, one of my guys, Aaron Judge. I don't want to jump ahead on your names on the list.
That's a good one. Go ahead.
One of my guys also. That guy was huge. I will tell. So this is not a regret story, because if you check out my Twitter, I think I posted on my Instagram page, Darren Ravel was talking about the Kentucky Derby horse, the horse that won Medina's Chance, I think was the name of it, or something like that, and that it was claimed in the claiming race. It was purchased for $1,000. Which is like the least amount of money you can pay to buy a horse in a race, right? And it was turned into, a Baffert special, turned into a Kentucky Derby winner, which is amazing, because now think about the people who sold that for $1,000. And I wrote, hey, I'm not going to go out there and talk about any of my card sale regrets anymore when this guy sold the Kentucky Derby winner for $1,000. But I'll talk about it. So in a golden auction, before it was the famous golden auction, 2 summers ago, I was torn between 2 cards. So this is to tell you what I thought of Aaron Judge at the time. I was torn between 2 cards. Card number 1 was a Aaron Judge Heritage Real One red ink auto. I think it was 1969 was the year on it, so it's out of 69. It was a PSA 10. So I think there were 10, 12 of these, something like that. It was a real slick auto, signed in red ink, real nice. And it was right after one of them had sold, and he had his first sort of, injury setback after his big year. And I'm like, all right, well, this is the time, man. This is the time to get in on Judge, because, you got a little bit of a down because he's going to come back and hit 75 home runs next year, and everything's going to be great. And I was between that card at about $5,000 and another one at $6 that sold at $6. And that other one was a PSA 10 LeBron James 2003 Chrome Topps Refractor PSA 10. And I bought the Judge, not the LeBron. So,
well, it's something Judge is very used to. You struck out.
Yeah, I did. And I wound up, I think, selling that card actually at a loss right around the time that the first LeBron sold for like 55, 60.
This is why you don't buy autos anymore.
It's one of the reasons, I guess. But Judge is exactly the same thing, man. Judge, I'm a Yankee fan, and I think his contract is up when he turns like 31. I hope they trade him. I don't want to sign him to a long term. This was the guy who's going to be the next captain.
Imagine if you said that about me when I turned 31.
No, I would never trade you. What am I going to get back? So here's the deal, right? So, I don't need a bag of balls. So, Aaron Judge, he shouldn't be playing baseball. He's too big. These guys, they can't stay on the field. And by the way, Byron Buxton, I should have mentioned, that's one of his problems too. Let's see.
So you just said you wouldn't trade me. What would you get back for Andrew? This guy has stayed on the field every single day.
Every day. You have been Cal Ripken. I'm going to give it to you. You've been Cal Ripken, man. 300 days. Leonidas. Every day. Sometimes more than once a day.
It's funny. I heard this quote once when I was like 20, 21. It really stuck with me. It's like 99% of life is showing up.
It's true.
And especially for people, that aren't the most talented, as it seems talented. Like, I don't know if Cal Ripken was the most talented player, but he showed up and executed day after day after day.
He was pretty talented, too.
Yeah? He had a good arm?
Yeah, he was pretty talented. He was a good shortstop. And he had a good
I said, I don't know, just to be clear. I said, I don't know if he was, because I didn't watch it. All right, let's keep rocking.
Maybe like Eli Manning. He was kind of one of these. He won 2 Super Bowl MVPs. He'll probably go to the Hall of Fame because maybe he was basically a 500 quarterback. But he was one of those guys who had like a streak, showed up every day, played every Sunday. You knew you could pencil him into the lineup. So maybe good example.
And he wasn't talented, right? He didn't have the best arm strength, or he couldn't throw from different pockets, he couldn't run out. All right, Jesus Aguilar. You know who that is?
No. Tell me who Jesus Aguilar is.
I'm just going through guys. He's first baseman on Miami. 23 RBIs.
Jeez.
6 home runs.
Out of nowhere, huh? Jesus Aguilar. I thought maybe you were talking about one of the prospects. Jesus Aguilar.
JD Martinez. Let's go next. Leading the league in home runs and RBI plus.
Now I got to look up Jesus Aguilar. Damn. So no, I like JD Martinez. He's one of the few guys that's left to carry that team. He's always been great, but he literally has a year or two left on his career, and he's a guy who figured it out much later in his career. I mean, maybe a couple more years than that. People play a little later now, but he's not somebody I've invested. He's more on the downswing of his career.
Xander Bogaerts leads the league in hits.
I like Xander Bogaerts. I gave him as a play a couple times.
Yes, you did.
On our show. I like him. It might be one of the few years you can get him kind of under the radar, because even though that team's in first, that won't last. They kind of came out of the gates and overperformed. I don't think that anybody's really given the Red Sox much of a chance to do anything really big this year. So it's a time where you can grab him. He is a professional hitter, that guy. I mean, he can hit for power. You can hit for average. He just sprays the ball all fields, and he's one of those guys that I would actually start putting some money into.
Last guy, Kyle Seeger, Seattle.
A little overshadowed, right, by his brother who won the World Series MVP. Out in LA. I like him. If you could buy him at a little bit of a discount now, because Seattle's not really doing much. I like him more because that team is going to be really good. The outfield we've talked about in that team. That team is one of those an American League team that I could see, moving up the ranks and competing with some of those high-level National League teams.
This year, or I know you mentioned they're building really well for the future.
Maybe by next year. I mean, some of the guys are really young. I mean, you got to have these guys like Julio Rodriguez isn't even up this year yet. I mean, he might not even be up this year. He's one of those guys that, might not even come up at all this year. Kalenic, he should start contributing more this year. And now Kyle Lewis is back healthy too. That's your rookie of the year from last year. So soon, maybe not this year. Maybe this year is the year to start buying him while they're still not, winning every game out in Seattle. Dude, I looked at it yesterday. It's probably still the case. Everybody expected a lot from the NL East this year, right? The Phillies got better. The Mets got that amazing pitching staff, and then added Lindor to their offense. And the Braves have their pitching staff, which is amazing, and Acuna and Freddie Freeman, right? And just got everybody. I don't think there's a team that's above 500 in the division. It might just be because they're beating each other up, but I don't think there's a team that's over 500 in the National League East. So it's pretty crazy, man. Baseball's been nuts. So onto my play, just because I don't want to take too long on the episode here, and I do want to also give Luca Nation, my healthy update. But our pal Gavin, who told me Bill Russell 2013 Prism Auto was the play because Bill Russell's not signing any more autos. We had to tell him he is still signing autos. He got me thinking about it, and I started looking at some of the Prism autos from multiple years. I look at 13 because he kind of directed my attention there, and it is a really cool way, if you don't mind sticker autos, to get a cool looking auto of a Hall of Fame guy. 9 more points in the next game. Carmelo Anthony will pass Elvin Hayes for the top 10. He'll be finally there. I've been talking about it for a year, right? He needs 9 more points and he'll move to the top 10. But he's passing.
I hate sticker autos, and I love that Carmelo Anthony, 20 years or whatever, 18 years of the career, same exact game. He will not change his game for anybody.
Well, he's actually played some defense this year, which is weird. That's a change in his game. But
I know, but you love it when he gets it on the. I know you want to wrap this, but I'm having a great time.
No,
I love when he gets the ball, dribbles at the 3-point yard line, and then just starts backing down the defender to get a fadeaway shot. I find that hilarious.
Well, you know what? I stop him. That's what I'd say if I was him. You know what he's doing, right? People can't really.
Peyton
stop
Pritchard
him.
did, but go ahead. Sorry,
dude. He embarrassed Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah.
So anyway, it is what it is. So it's not a Melo play. It's an Elvin Hayes play, and it's other Hall of Famers in that year and the other years. Prism, one of the cool things about it, and they don't really do it as much, I didn't see too many this year, but Prism was one of those brands that was fun when it first came out. It mixed in the retired guys and mixed in the Hall of Famers. There are Bill Russell autos. There are Elvin Hayes autos, Dominique Wilkins, if that's your guy. Dr. J. Elvin Hayes, I think I saw an auto. It was like $50 an auto out of 5, like a blue Walmart, auto out of 5, 2013 Prism. That's a cool little area that people haven't exploited yet. People people haven't looked at these, these Hall of Famers, these all-time great autographs in a respected current product. It's a cool cross-section to look at, as a play. And there's no shortage of it. I mean, I saw George Gervin auto, the Iceman. That's it's a fun way of doing it. It's obviously a licensed product. It's a cool product that you can go get graded. It's not a lot of them graded. Obviously, Gavin's play was get the Bill Russell. That's like $2,000 in PSA 10. That's cool too. Not a lot of high-end Bill Russell autos in PSA 10. But if you don't want to do that, you can get ungraded Hall of Fame autos, pretty accessible prices. So take a look. 2012 has them. 2014 has them. I'm not going to tell you which guy to buy because everybody's got their own favorites. But it's just one of those cool things because everything has run, and the vintage cards that these guys, the rookies, ran. Why not their autos? I mean, that seems to be where people are moving, right? Everybody was on base cards. Let's buy the base Zions, base cards. Let's buy the base Lucas, base cards. Let's buy everybody's base. And then the money moved into the autos. So if you saw the rookies of these guys, these vintage guys go up, why not their autographs? It's a little fun one. What else you got?
Our big Baba Ganoush, tell us. 288.8 was last week.
That's right.
Week 0. What's week 1?
283 even. 5.8. 5.8.
This guy lost.
It's not very difficult to do that, by the way, when you are that large. It's like throwing deck chairs off of the Titanic. But yeah, 5.8 pounds.
I want to know as much.
283.
First off,
thank you. And it's going to be more next week. Let's go.
Tell us the how. Tell us the how.
I mean, healthy. Me and salad different. Tonight I ordered from this healthy place. I got like veggie burgers with like lentils and quinoa coming. I got like a couple of protein bowls with like chicken and avocado, a little brown rice. The kids are eating it, steamed vegetables and stuff. I did a lot of salad, bought some kale. I went shopping more. I buy more fruits, buy more vegetables.
So talk me through this. So You were about 5, 6, 7 days a week before ordering out kind of junky food.
Yeah.
Now you've gone 7 days a week of ordering out, but healthy. How has that been?
Today's the first day I ordered out, but I went out and I went shopping. But yes,
how has that been? Right, that's cold turkey.
No, I mean, so the way I look at it is, I just don't like being hungry, right? So as long as I keep the house stocked with like food, or even if it's not, as long as I have a healthy option that I can get delivered here, then I'm not going to be hungry. You know what I mean? And that's the key. Like, I'm a snacker, right? Instead of buying chips, I'll get something else, or whatever it may be. Cheese,
It's that when you get hungry, you snack, and then when you snack unhealthily, it kind of builds on itself. So if you have healthy snacks so that you're never hungry, you're able to build that healthy momentum. Pretty much.
So, I mean, also trying to make sure you drink a lot of water on top of the soda, which is good. But yeah, man, I mean, you know what you got to do. It's really not a matter of like figuring out what you have to do. It's just doing it, being disciplined enough to do it. So we'll keep it going, guys. Let's go.
I have a cool new video concept for you. It's 2 minutes or maybe 5 minutes with Cage, where you have to finish a 2-liter soda in that time, and our audience gets 5 questions. So you have to answer all 5 questions and finish the soda.
I can do it. I can definitely do it.
That'd be a cool segment, right? I was going to call it Coke and Cage, but I think 2 minutes with Cage is a little bit better.
Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, Andrew's about to turn red. We got a big announcement coming, but I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. We got a big announcement.
People don't know what that means, like turn red. Like I blush.
Yeah, you're going to be embarrassed. You're going to be like, oh.
I only get embarrassed when you ask me, who's that Mexican señorita behind you? And I have to explain myself. That's when I get embarrassed. The rest.
Well, there's been a lot recently, man. You're doing well for yourself. Good, good for you. Good for you, I
wish I could take all the credit, but my best friend's here. He flew in a month ago, and he's just on a heater. You're on mute.
He's been a good wingman. So would you
I'm the
consider
best
him?
wingman.
Is he Maverick? Wingman. Is he Goose? Is he Slider? Is he Iceman?
I'm Iceman for sure.
You're Iceman. Okay. All right. Well, that would make him Slider. Slider. You stink. Yeah, man. Enough Top Gun lines. 300 episodes in the books, guys. A big thank you from Luca Nation to each and every one of you who was listening to this. You know, we love showing up every day. And we love chatting with you. So keep the messages coming. And by the way, if anybody else wants to lose 5.8 pounds in a week using the cage method, no, we got a couple guys in a group here, the healthy group. What do we call it? A little Luca Nation Get Healthy group. I shared a picture of something I was eating the other day. I cut up a bulb of fennel, you know, like what they used to make anisette. That, and I cut it into like chip pieces and stuff like that. This way I had that instead of chips. That's like 70 something calories for the whole bulb of it. Basically, it's, you know, it's a lot of food. I put a picture in the group and they're like, yeah, that's all you. That's like, I'm not doing that. That's all you. I am not going there. So anyway, fun stuff. It's different than our normal banter. So if you happen to be, you know, large and in charge, like the big guy here, and you want to join a group, maybe lose a little weight, send me a message. We'll get you in there.
It's a support group. It's accountability. It's virtual friendship. It's huge. It's gonna work. I'm proud of you, man. I know how hard change is. To see you take it head on. It's how you do everything. It's how you did do cards. It's how you do this podcast. You say I haven't missed a day. Well, you have a full-time job, a family, and you also haven't missed a day. I love how you go about your business, man, and you always do it with a smile on your face. So if you're saying thank you to Luca Nation, I'll say thank you to you. This wouldn't be possible without you, Cage.
I appreciate that, Leonidas. Thank you for
who turned red now if you're watching on YouTube.
I'd like to thank all the little people who helped me get here. Oh, listen, the 300.
Are you calling them little because you were 288.8?
Yeah, dude. Everyone's little. Everyone's little to me. Everybody's little to me. Nah, guys, listen, we appreciate it. I gotta do a mail day soon. I got a lot of mail. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll just do a little mail day. So stay tuned for that as well.